Hi, kindergarten friends and families. Mrs. Norton here. Just hoping you guys are hanging in there. I wanted to do a little challenge because I know it's hard being at home. For my daughter and I, we started one of these. We used an old calendar and we did 14 things earns her like a TV show or something. Help me keep my sanity, help her know what was expected. It's been sort of nice. And we use a lot of stickers. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to challenge you kindergarten kiddos for a good deed challenge. And so as I'm reading this book, I want you to think, who can you help at your house? What good deeds can you do at your house? And how can you help them? What's going to be helpful to the people in your life? So our book is going to be called One Good Deed. That's the title. And if you look at the front illustration, I notice that there's a little boy picking berries. Well, do you guys know what a good deed is? It's when you do something nice for somebody else and don't expect anything back. That's a good deed. And so I wonder, maybe he's going to pick those berries for somebody. Our story is written by Terry Fields and it's illustrated by Deborah Melman. Let's go ahead and open it up. Oh, look, I think you might have been right. Looks like he's giving the berries to somebody. Take a look at that picture. Even on sunny days, Lancaster Street seemed dark and gloomy. Neighbors did not smile at each other, or talk to each other, or help each other. But one day, as Jake climbed his mulberry tree to pick its ripe fruit, he saw old Miss Thompson outside her house next door. Suddenly, he had a thought he had never had before. I bet she's sad she can't climb trees. I could take her some of these delicious mulberries. Oh, giving something to somebody else is a good deed, doing something nice for them. When Jake arrived, Mrs. Thompson was surprised. She was delighted. She had enough fruit to make 2 mulberry pies. What do you think she's going to do with the second mulberry pie? Give it to somebody else, I think you're right. Then she had a thought she'd never thought before. I love getting these mulberries. I bet Mr. Riley next door would like one of my pies. When Mrs. Thompson arrived, Mr. Riley was surprised. Mr. Riley was delighted. As he ate the delicious pie, he looked out the window and watched the kids next door playing ball. Suddenly, he saw the ball land on the roof of his garage. Then he had a thought he had never thought before. I bet I could help them. I could take my ladder and get their ball. When Mr. Riley handed them back their ball, Jeffrey and Joshua were surprised. They were delighted. As they tossed it back and forth, they saw Mr. Lee hobbling on crutches to his front door. Then they had a thought they'd never thought before. Mr. Lee can't rake his leaves in his yard, but we could. When the boys arrived with their rakes, Mr. Lee was surprised. Mr. Lee was delighted. Soon they were joined by Sammy Cohen from next door carrying a rake. My computer is broken, so I can't finish my homework. I'll help you rake. Then Mr. Lee had a thought he'd never had before. I'm good at computers. Maybe I could fix Sammy's computer. When Mr. Lee arrived, the Cohens were surprised. The Cohens were delighted, and before you knew it, the computer was up and running again. When Mrs. Cohen sat down to check her email, she looked out her window and saw Ashley from next door riding a rusty old bike. Then she had a thought she had never thought before. We have a practically new bike that Sammy has outgrown. It would be perfect for Ashley. When Miss Cohen arrived with the new bike, Ashley was surprised. Ashley was delighted. She rode her new bike around the neighborhood, waving and smiling and calling hello to all her neighbors. The neighbors were surprised. The neighbors were delighted. Everyone waved and smiled back. Soon, even on gray days, Lancaster Street seemed warm and sunny. How had that happened? No one knew. Do you? Not even Jake realized that it had all begun with a basket of mulberries and one good deed. So, I know that right now you can't go out and help your neighbors, but you can definitely help your mom or your dad or your brother or your sister or anybody living with you. So enjoy this video and talk to your family about some good deeds maybe you could do at home to help each other out. Okay, talk to you soon. Mrs. Norton signing off.